All right. Sorry for the little bit of a delay there, folks. Welcome back to the Andre Duke Show. Got my boy Richie joining in. Just figured I would tell everybody off the top. The second portion of this show is going to be a call-in show, so if you bear with us, we got Richie on for about a half hour to 45 minutes. And so there is that. Also, appreciate everybody who hung out with us for the college football playoff games. I know Mondays are typically slow days, but appreciate all of you guys for doing that. So without further ado, Rich, let's get into it. Buckeye disappointment, to say the least.
Yeah, Wednesday night, I had high hopes. Ohio State was going to handle business. Ryan took over the play calling duties, and they came out flat first half.
That was
10 points. I mean, we're given right away. We're off the board. That pick six on that bubble screen. I mean, Miami snuffed it out. I mean, hats off to their DBs. They read their keys. That DB, I forget his name. He jumped that route, took it to the house, because Ohio State they were driving in. They were about to tie the game up, and that's when Ohio State just couldn't really recover. That was the beginning of the downfall.
Before I get to that, can we address this, please?
Sure.
If you think Oregon can't beat Indiana, you're seriously sleeping. Now, I want to say we've seen this story before. Do I think Oregon has a legitimate chance to beat Indiana? Yes.
Yes.
But do I think it's out of the realm of possibility? No. But don't be shocked if Oregon can't stop them running the football. That is where I draw the line.
They're big and physical up there.
That's the thing that sets Indiana apart. That's the thing that sets Miami apart. And we also seen that in the the Ole Miss Georgia game. Georgia was big and physical up front, and they could push people around. So if they can stop Indiana from running the ball, Oregon's got a shot. But outside of that, if Indiana runs for $1.25, you're going to have some issues. It's going to be a long day. So
yeah.
With that being said, we'll move back on. Ohio State. It's not that I'm picking words wisely here. One of the things I found bizarre, this is post-game. It was very interesting, to say the least, that Jelani Thurman, 30 seconds after the game is over, is in the transfer portal. Do I think that it's going to be interesting on how, the Armstrong, one of the Armstrong twins jumped in the portal today?
Yeah, one of the Armstrong twins did jump in the portal. James Peoples jumped in the portal. Lincoln
Keenholz,
he jumped in the portal. Bryce West, a promising DB, I think out of Glenville, he hit the portal. So it's sort of a mini exodus out of Columbus. But
okay, I guess we'll stop messing around. Should the alarms be going off in Columbus right now? Because from what I watched in the post-game press conference, I did not like the Caleb Downs looked checked out. I get it. He's going to the NFL. Pissed they lost. That's whatever. The one sticking point for me was when the Austin Ward question came up. Was he asked Ryan Day, which I'm shocked he asked it. He brought an old quote back up from October and said, Ryan, I want to ask you, I'm paraphrasing here, but he says, Ryan, I want to ask you about a comment you made in October about pushing the gas pedal. Do you think that it has something to do with the performance, which he was talking about tonight? I thought that was a bizarre question coming from Austin Ward. And Day's answer was fascinating. And then there was a couple other questions that he had brought up to where they had, in a sense, he asked a reporter asked Julian saying if he should have scrambled. And the big edict out of there in Columbus when it comes to Day was always, did he did he tell him not to run? And that's what it sounded like Julian Sayans said in so many words. And Day kind of turned and looked at him. So I don't know if we should sound the alarm bells. I think Ryan Day, good head coach, wins a lot of games. He should not call plays if he's the head coach.
Right.
Some people will probably disagree with that and say he's the greatest play caller in the history. Well, you know how I know when Ryan Day calls plays? Because, friend Zach Smith does the Minnesota Sports thing. He has the film breakdowns. Every year that Zach put up the game film where he breaks it down, when Ryan Day would call plays, it was nothing but the run. A majority of the run plays, they would run stretch at least once, and it would never work. When they lost,
i.e. Michigan last year.
Yes, what they do, they run stretch a lot. They got away from all the concepts that Day would normally run, and it just looked like hammered dog shit. I'm sorry, it did. The offense looked bad. Jeremiah Smith, unexcusable. You could tell Chip Kelly's gone because Chip Kelly's edict was no block, no rock, and he whiffed on that for that pick six. That is 100% on Jeremiah on that one, and which I know. He knows that. Everybody knows that. I think that there should be, whenever they do film, there should be some tough conversations had, and as you can see, there's people hitting the portal, but Miami came out ready to play, and
they did.
So there's that. We'll let the Ohio State thing be dyed, fried, and laid to the side. Flip them over on this side. They are done. So moving on to the other college football playoff game, we'll jump into Oregon. Also, got a comment here. Ryan Day pisses down his leg every time he calls plays. I think in big games he does.
I mean, you didn't really see much tempo.
Nope, they looked.
They needed to go tempo to get those DNs gasping for air, like Zach said the other day. They didn't. They just play conservative. They let time chew off the clock. To me, I mean, if it was me, you got to catch those guys off guards, because those guys coming off the edge, the offensive line was just beat to hell. I mean, they were beat up pretty bad.
Integra was out.
Was out.
So here's my thing: you got to play with who you got.
Right.
That's fair. So I guess we'll peel the Oregon thing back. Comment here: our defense came to play the other day. Remember, Oregon and Indiana were tied with 6 minutes left when they played. So here's the shocking issue I have with Oregon. 4 of 19 on third down versus Texas Tech. Fourth down efficiency, they were 4 of 8, only ended up with 309 yards. Texas Tech didn't score a point. They only had 6 first downs the entire game. Indiana can move the ball. Dante Moore, 27 of 34 on the day. I believe they had somebody else throw a pass. But here's the other thing. Oregon's running attack, 47 carries for 64 yards at a 1.4 yard clip in a gain. Their longest gain of the day was a 9-yard run.
You can't do that against Indiana's defense.
And then we go to other rushing totals. When they played, I guess it ain't going to give me that one, but maybe it'll give me this one. But even when they played Washington, they ran 42 times for 106 yards. So if Oregon can't move the ball on the ground, they're in trouble. And remember, they only scored 26 against Washington. When they played USC, that had one of the bottom of the barrel defenses, they ran it 41 times for 179 yards, averaging 4.4 yards a carry. And so we're going to get into Indiana, Alabama. Another comment here, Indiana by 100. Don't worry, guys. Here in about a half hour, we're going to open up the phone lines and let people speak on it. So Indiana, 50 carries for 215 yards, averaging 4.32 rushing touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza, 14 of 16, 192 yards.
Two tutties.
Three tutties.
Three tutties, okay.
When people were sitting around talking about Mendoza's stat line, about he threw touchdowns against this team or that team, I don't think it matters. They just won by 35 points over Alabama that got into the playoffs. We don't even have to peel back the Notre Dame thing at all. But
the thing before that game, I was at my sister's. We were celebrating Christmas and New Year's all in one yesterday. I was talking to my brother-in-law. The Indiana game, the Indiana game was coming out. I said, "Don't be shocked if Cignetti put some points up to send a message." And sure as hell he did, beating Bama by 35 points. I knew Sig was going to do it. I wasn't shocked, but they laid an ass whooping on them like yesterday.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can pick apart the Alabama thing. Ty Simpson obviously gets hurt, 12 of 16, 67 yards, averaging 4.2 yards an attempt. The Matt kid came in, looked good, 11 of 16.
Yeah, he looked good.
103 yards. Giant human being, to say the least. The Alabama rushing attack.
It was non-existent.
17 carries for 23 yards, 1.4 yards an attempt.
That's not Bama ball right there, running the football.
So Alabama, they are ushered out the door. That's kind of what it is. They didn't play well, and that's kind of what it is. And then I think the shock of the weekend, everybody and their brother, everybody on game day picked Ole Miss or picked Georgia. I was rolling with the Rebs that day. When it comes down to it, Trinidad Chambliss, 30 of 46, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns. Keywan Lacey, 22 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ole Miss runs it up on Georgia, 27 carries for 111 yards. Harrison Wallace, 9 receptions for 156 yards and 1 touchdown. Here's my thing. Not that I'm going to try to pour on James Franklin here, but it kind of makes me wonder what Andy Kotelnicki was doing at Penn State when Harrison Wallace was at Penn State. Makes me wonder. He was a former Penn State kid. He was at Penn State for, let me see. He was at Penn State for 4 years, from 2021 to 2025. Transfers 1 year, ends up this year pretty much not a lot of touchdowns, but a Montgomery, Alabama kid, and kind of makes me wonder. But Ole Miss special teams carries the boot for Ole Miss, in my opinion.
I thought we were going to be playing for overtime last night. I was watching, maybe with 56 seconds left, I ended up falling asleep.
You didn't see
responsibilities. I didn't see the game. I didn't see the game-winning field goal or the safety. I woke up this morning when I went to the gym and I was like, holy shit, they didn't go to overtime. I was like, you know what? Hats off to Ole Miss. I'm rooting for them because of what transpired, the whole media circus with Kiffin. I hope Ole Miss, I hope the Rebs go to the dance.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Also, I guess that's all the college football playoff games wrapped up in a nutshell. But interesting stat here for Pete Golding, only been on the job since for a month. Pete Golding on the job in just a month has more CFP wins than Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, Urban Meyer, plus as many as James Harbaugh, Kalen DeBoer, and James Franklin in 1 month.
Think they might have found their guy.
I think they found the right guy, the guy that wants to be there, and it's not a media circus. I know we said we were going to bury Kiffin until the beginning of next year. I think they had to really talk Kiffin out of going to the game the other night. So there is that. Also,
can we talk about how insane Trinidad Chambliss played last night?
Oh, he was unbelievable.
I mean, that kid played lights out last night.
Just
think of like the one play scramble play where he was almost in the back of the end zone. I'm like, oh, they're gonna get him. They're gonna get him. I'm like, no, he threw it, and Keywan Lacey that caught that ball, got the first down, or was that somebody?
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was Keywan Lacey.
I was like, wow. I'm like, this team is not going down without a fight. They are punching, clawing, scratching. They're doing whatever they can to win that game, which they did.
Here's a fun fact for you. This is on the Carson Beck side of things. With that win last night, what do you think Carson Beck's record is, starting record, as when he's the quarterback against AP top 25 teams? What is Carson Beck's record?
He was at Georgia because he was a backup with the first 2 years they won the Natty, right?
Games that he started.
I'm trying to think.
What do you think his record is?
I'd say 6-4.
Wrong. 15-3 versus AP top 25 teams. Carson Beck's only losses are last year to Ole Miss as a starter, and then the year after that, he lost that game to Alabama on the road, and then he lost to Saban's Alabama, in which he didn't play bad. He was 21 of 29, 243 yards, just no touchdowns. So for all the people that are Carson Beck haters, the great philosopher Bob Knight said, "You are what your record says you are." And if you ask me, his record says he's a winner. So for the people that want to hate on Carson Beck, the Georgia fans that want to go at him, good luck. But, I mean, he's advancing farther than you are with an inferior ACC team, as some people would like to say. So there is that. Also, little DJ Lagway news. Teams in the mix for Lagway. CBS Sports put this out. Missouri, Baylor, Louisville, Virginia. After getting outed at Florida. That's what's on the docket for DJ Lagway. And then the Harris kid, a quote that I found today that he gave, since the Ole Miss players are allowed to talk to the media now. You're all good, man. The quote was Harris, I believe he was the defensive MVP for the Sugar Bowl. That's what Kiffin tried to do. He tried to be the damn announcer, trying to be a troll. We were going to troll him. We got something for him. He's just trying to steal our shine. That's all he tried to do. That is a quote from a current Ole Miss player. So that's what we got to see.
Duke, he's not wrong. He is 100% spot on.
Not wrong at all. So also, I find it interesting. As we were talking about Indiana, I pulled this stat out. Indiana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth biggest beatdown in Rose Bowl history is handed to Alabama. The only ones better were 1984, UCLA won by 36 over Illinois. Oregon in 2015 beat Florida State by 39, and then Michigan in 1902 beat Stanford 49, and the same thing with USC. So Indiana, fifth biggest beatdown in Rose Bowl history, tied with USC in 1933 versus Pitt.
Hats off to Indiana.
Oh yeah, and
So do you think? Okay, hypothetically, because I heard this from our good people at M2S. If Signetti wins the Natty, like Chris said, do you think you put him in the Hall of Fame right now for what he's done in 2 years? 2 years, Duke. 3-9 to what are they now? They're
11 and 11 and 2 and
25-2 in two
yeah,
years and win a
yeah.
Natty.
That's
I think you put him in.
yeah. I could see that.
I
I
mean, I don't know what the rules of eligibility are for the College Football Hall of Fame, but
I think you
to
have
me,
to coach.
that's incredible.
I would wonder what it says. Yeah, he's right. Worst record in college to the Natty. Yeah, that would make it tough on some people. Also, on the Kiffin side of things, by Ole Miss winning the Sugar Bowl, LSU has to pay him $500,000.
I did see that.
And then we have national championship odds as well. The Indiana Hoosiers are plus 128, Oregon 320, Miami 330, Ole Miss 570. Any disagreement there?
No.
I would say it's Indiana's to lose at this point.
Yeah.
And then also, fun fact here, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, BYU and Georgia Tech drew a bigger TV number than 2 college football playoff games. The JMU Oregon and the
Tulane Ole Miss game.
Tulane Ole Miss game beat them by 4 million and 2 million easily.
Hey,
so
committee. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just unbelievable. And then also another stat that was thrown out there on McAfee. There's over 4,000 players in the transfer portal now.
Jeez.
So
I knew it was going to be madness. I mean, this is like
there is that.
Where are these kids going to find a home at, Duke?
Your guess is as good as mine, man.
I mean,
your guess is as good as mine. Also, Biff Poggi out at Michigan as well. I know that's a little. I thought that was interesting, but there is that. So we'll see. Also, Carson Beck is chasing down Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield's winning percentage versus AP top 25 teams. But also on the other track of it, let's not let the committee off the hook here. James Madison scored 34 points in a first-round loss. Ohio State 14, Texas Tech 0, and Texas A&M 3. So sometimes the placard on the helmet makes it interesting, I would say. So we have that.
Now, let's talking about natties. A thought's been rolling through my head. What if we see a Miami Georgia natty?
Well, you couldn't because they were in the same. They were in the same side of the bracket. They could have been a showdown in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, never mind. Disregard. Never mind. Shit, I'm like out of it today. Sorry, Duke. But what if that was the case?
Oh, it would be must see TV. See, it's gonna be interesting, to say the least. But I also got this sent to me, a picture of the Hard Rock Stadium that was hardly full for the kickoff of Texas Tech Oregon. I am agreeing with Dan on this. Just play the quarterfinal games at the home stadiums because you can't put this travel on fans. Because if you're an Ole Miss fan, let's say you live in Oxford or even Jackson.
Right.
You're going to New Orleans this weekend. Next weekend, you got to go to Arizona. Weekend after that, you got to go. If you win, you got to go to Miami. That's a lot. That's a lot of travel. That's a lot of travel in 21 days. That's 3 cities in 21 days. You might as well join the Taylor Swift tour at that point. So got that going. Also, before we get you out of here, Kirk Signetti was the coach at Elon when Stranger Things started, so just keep that in perspective. Also, the other crazy thing is that Pete Golding is on the verge of making history despite never being a head coach. He is coaching in a college football semifinal game, which I find fascinating, that Lane Kiffin walked away from all this thinking the grass is greener on the other side. But with that being said, Sports Illustrated released a thing that said the people in college football with the worst ideas for the sport. Do you know who was the number one catalyst for that? Who was number one atop? It just said everything blank came up with.
Saban?
No, Tony Petitti.
Oh.
He got voted the worst ideas because he's Mr. Auto Bid and we want all of this and all of that. But also, I guess we'll end on this note with you, Rich, and we'll get you out of here, and then we'll get the people that are patiently hanging out watching the stream and give them the opportunity to call. Last championships for all the teams left in the college football playoff: Miami 2001, Ole Miss 1960. Indiana doesn't have one, and Oregon doesn't have one. So there's a 50% chance we could be crowning a brand new national championship or a national champion this year. Also, I think this is a troll job by Consumer Cellular in the bowl game running the Mike Gundy cell phone commercial. Haven't heard much about the old Gundy. Don't know if he's getting back in. It sounds like he just might stay retired. $17 million and
not doing anything.
Not doing anything. I mean, hell, he's cutting promos for the Oklahoma State hockey team. So there is that. Rich, I guess we'll cut you loose at this juncture. It is Friday night. So,
Dookie, who are you going with the next round?
Indiana, Ole Miss. Let's see Ole Miss get to the mountaintop. Maybe they get it done against Indiana, but I just feel like Indiana's got so much momentum rolling because they had that rust week, and I think that was their tune-up game, and I think we could be seeing something interesting against Oregon. If you think that was a beatdown, maybe it'll be a dogfight. I could be wrong, but we'll have to see. I'm also seeing Rhett Lashley in a wetsuit on my TV. I don't think anyone needs to see that, but that's just my opinion. So
I'm torn yet. I still haven't made my mind yet.
All right. Well, we got
a while. We got what next Thursday? We got the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl next Friday night.
Yeah,
I gotta sleep on it. I am, like I said, I am pulling for Notre Dame, or not Notre Dame. God damn it,
Notre Dame.
See, this is what happens when you have lack of sleep. You've been up since 5 a.m. Oh, I'm looking at Ole Miss and Oregon or Indiana. Man, don't know.
I think it's going to be an interesting tidbit. So we'll see. We'll have time. I know I'll be on tomorrow. Don't know what you got going on, so maybe hop on, maybe not. But
I'll let you know.
Nothing really going on. Michigan blowing the doors off of USC in basketball right now, so there is that. So, all right, Rich, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. We'll let you hop off here and get some sleep, buddy, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, Duke. Hey, I'll catch everybody next week.
All right. Have a good one, Rich.
All right. See ya, Duke.
See ya. All right, that was Rich. Let me get the phone number up. Rich comes in, offers some commentary a couple times a week, helps out on the old podcast. And there's that. Got that done. All right, the number is up. If you want to call, do not call me as an unknown number. It will not come through. Number to call, 260-255-4069. If you want to call in, get your call in We'll stay on the pod for a little bit, so there is that. Also got SMU, Arizona. Arizona kind of getting beat up right now, but phone number is on the ticker below. Number to call, 260-255-4069. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We've seen the beatdown on Alabama, but that's just kind of where it's at. Indiana taking on Oregon. Also, appreciate everybody. If you're new to the channel, do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us a ton. Helps us a ton with growth to the platform, and we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But the phone line is open. Number to call, 260-255-4069. As I'm skimming the news, I wonder what the top stories are on ESPN.com. See what they got going. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention that with the Ole Miss stuff. Austin Simmons is entered the transfer portal as well. Austin Simmons entering the transfer portal. Got some sirens going on out by my house. Fun times. But, yeah, so that's kind of what we got going on. Avery Johnson, shocking he's going to stay. Just getting some of that. Hold on. There's that. Also, phone line is open. Number to call, 260-255-4069 is the number to call. Also, worst record to the Natty. That is a fact when it comes to Signetti and all of that fine stuff. But, yeah, so Avery Johnson announces he's going to stay. Going to be quite fascinating, to say the least, on where some of these guys end up. You have Lagway out there. I guess Deuce Knight is heavily considering Ole Miss. Shocker. If you watched the way back shows, you would have been hip to that. I tried to tell people that a long time ago, and they didn't listen, but he went to Auburn, so it is what it is. You don't always get them right the first time. Also, Pete Thamel reporting Cam Coleman is to visit Texas A&M, plans trips to Texas Tech, USC, and Alabama the following week. So we'll see where Cam Coleman ends up. Don't know. Possibly. Oregon had a couple kids hit the portal as well. Louisville had a couple of kids. So there is that. I'm also kind of interested. Eamon, looks like I'm cheering for my alma mater Hoosiers. Yeah, I hear you on that. Also, phone line is open. You want to call? Hop on in. The water's fine. Number to call, 260-255-4069 is the number to call. Ticker on the bottom as well. We got that. Also, yes, the Austin Simmons transfer. Don't know where he's going to end up. I know the knee-jerk reaction is everybody's going to say, oh, he's going to end up at LSU. I don't know if that is going to be the case 100%. I think that, kind of the way it looks, you never know. Austin Simmons could end up somewhere where you never even think. So there's that. He is a talented kid, talented thrower of the football. Georgia has a couple of kids enter the transfer portal as well. I guess Missouri's getting in on some of this bidding war stuff. We'll see, but they're already crystal balling some of the Big 12 transfers to Texas Tech. So I think Texas Tech is just going to reload. Cody Campbell has them a giant war chest. So I don't think Texas Tech's going to go away. anytime soon. I believe they're hot on the trail of the what the hell? I can't think of the kid's name from Cincinnati, but I guess they're rumored to be in with him. Alabama's had some folks. Another, not Ohio State, the University of Ohio. Jordan Jones, I guess, is hitting the portal as well, going to visit Nebraska. So there is that. So we'll get there when we get there, but also phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069. I guess we can get into the Ole Miss side of it. I don't know. Do I think it could get weird down the stretch? Could Lane Kiffin say Charlie Weiss and the 6 assistants that are offensive guys, you're not coaching the Fiesta Bowl? I think that's a distinct possibility if they piss Kiffin off. You know, he would have to do the will he or won't he thing. I find that interesting as well. And Purdue's defensive coordinator is leaving West Lafayette, is heading back to UNLV as linebackers coach. So that's a interesting move there. I would say Barry Odom is probably going to call defense himself if I had to bet. Also, we got Mississippi State taking on Wake Forest. They are losing right now. I know it is Friday night. We got SMU up big on Arizona right now. That's in the second quarter. No shock there. I think SMU also has a win over Miami. So you have that going. I'm just scrolling the news ticker here. Rutgers wide 1,000-yard receiver hitting the portal. I would say that's a resource thing. Also, Greg Sankey in attendance for the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Mississippi State stuffed in the red zone again. So there's that. Just looking upward, looking at some things. But yeah, that's what we got. Phone line is open. Number to call 260-255-4069. Seeing a couple FCS kids hitting the portal. Kentucky's had some people hit the portal as well. Arkansas. Also, about an hour ago, Marcel Reed announced that he's coming back amongst the rumors. Pete Thamel and all of those folks. Also, I guess on the LSU side of things, LSU star tight end, the green kid that we did that pseudo watch party with that impressed me and Joe so much, the 6'7", 240-pounder that they had lining up at receiver for the majority of it. They have him listed as a tight end. That'll come into factor when he goes to the NFL. He agreed to a new deal with LSU, so they're keeping him committed to the boot, as they like to call it. So there's that. I guess Kenny Minchie, ex of Notre Dame, is going to meet with Nebraska coming up. So we'll see how that fares. Alabama fans going crazy on the portal side of it. So there is that. They're wanting a bunch of unrealistic expectation. So there's kind of that. So realistically, I guess we really don't got too awful much to talk about. I'm gonna run a call-in show Saturday night, probably around 8, 9-ish, somewhere in there. Just turn on your bell notifications to look for that. I think that, going forward, we're going to have some of that going on and keep the bell notifications on so you know. And also, if you want to call in, I'll leave it open for a little bit longer, probably 5 minutes. If you want to call now. Also, TJ Finley hitting the portal again. He's kind of on track for, the guy's making a career of it. TJ Finley, wow. Because he was at 3 schools before, then went to Tulane, got kicked out of Tulane for the stolen car, I thought, and then ends up at Georgia State and somehow has eligibility left. So there is that. DeAndre Moore, I guess, is in the portal, rumored with Big 12 schools. So I think that for the most part, a lot of where these kids are going to sign, they already know where they're going. I think so. There is that. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of where we're at for tonight. No calls, so I guess we'll go ahead and end it there, Rich, with a brief stop in, and got some folks that I guess didn't feel like calling in tonight, so that's fine. You'll have an opportunity tomorrow night, and we'll talk about some stuff tomorrow and keep it going. So with that being said, everybody have a good night. Do us the biggest favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.